morning, or depending on when you're watching this, good afternoon, good evening, or good night. My name's Ross, and as always told, out of Voice of Radio. So today we need to take a look at some new cards that have been revealed from Mega Evolution. We are getting closer and closer to the release of Mega Evolution. Some cards have been revealed. I showed you my reveals the other day, including Delibird. Love me some Delibird. But I was not the only person who went and did some reveals for Mega Evolution. So let's start off having a look at Mega Absol that was revealed by the lovely May Plays TV. May is awesome. Big fan of May. Also quite a big fan of Mega Absol. This is a card I think could make some waves. And it's one of those ones where, like, first time you look at it, you look at one of the attacks and you're like, oh, okay, now I see. I see where they're going here. Because it's got an attack that says if your opponent's active Pokemon has exactly 6 damage counters on it, instant KO. No mucking about, no ifs, buts, or maybes, none of that malarkey. If they've got exactly 6 damage counters on, instant, no fussing, 1-hit KO. The issue here becomes how you get the 6 damage counters on there. But there are ways to do it. Now, one way I like very much indeed, Monkey Dory. Like, Monkey Dory moves 3 damage counters per Monkey Dory. Now, getting all the energy on Monkey Dory and then the energy on Absol, that is going to be the challenge. But the reality here is that you get to just move 3 damage counters over with one Monkey Dory, then move 3 damage counters over with the other Monkey Dory, and then, oh look, 6 damage counters. You've healed 6 damage while putting 6 damage counters onto your opponent's active Pokemon, which puts it nicely in range for Mega Absol's terminal period. Love it. Really, really nice attack. Little bit awkward, but we can make it work. There are other ways around it, of course. You know, there's things like Dusclops springs to mind, but Dusclops is 5 damage counters. Now, if Dusclops was 6, I rather suspect this would be a way better Pokemon. Give up 1 prize with your Duskull to guarantee a KO on a free prize Mega. Yes. But as it stands at the moment, it's only 5, so I don't know, maybe we combine it with something like Horlucha, but seems like it's just a little bit awkward. I do feel like Monkey Dory, if we can get the energy sorted, is going to be the best way to do so. Now, there's another Darkness Pokemon that May did go and reveal, and that was Spiritomb. Spiritomb's going to help. Because Spiritomb, I mean, look, it's got single energy, 10 damage, discard the top card of your opponent's deck. This is a classic if you've got nothing else. It's turn 1, you're going second, you can attack, you don't have the evolution or the energy to do anything more substantial, so you just sit there using Mountain Breaker. It's fine, it's not spectacular. But the ability says if your active Darkness Pokemon is damaged by an attack from your opponent's Pokemon, even if it leads to a knockout, place 1 damage counter on the attacking Pokemon. Now, this is a way we actually can start playing around, because you leave this on the bench, and then your opponent takes a damage, then you use Dusclops and you're off and rolling. Of course, it's also worth pointing out, there's nothing here that says it doesn't stack. The rule with abilities is, if it says it doesn't stack, it doesn't. If it doesn't say one way or the other, it does. So yeah, you could potentially have 3 of these on the bench. First time they attack, they take 3 damage. Second time they attack, they take another 3 damage. And then Absol comes in and gets a 1-hit KO because they've got 6 damage counters on. It feels awkward and probably isn't actually going to work. I'm not sure this is the best way to use it. But it's still a really nice ability. And there is a lot of potential here with Mega Absol. But it occurs to me I never actually told you about the second attack for Mega Absol. We've got Claw of Darkness. 3 energy, 200 damage. Your opponent reveals a hand. Discard a card you find there. It's not that good, honestly. It's 3 energy, which is a pain. So, yeah. When you combine the fact that it's 3 energy and you don't do quite enough damage, I think that all adds up to just slightly underwhelming. Not to be rude. Also, do remember this is a Mega Pokemon. but it's still just a basic. Megas nowadays, you don't have to evolve like you used to. They give up free prizes, but there's none of that, evolving malarkey. Now, there was one more card that May went and revealed, and it is the full art of Mega Mawile. Now, firstly, look at the full art. Look how beautiful it is. Oh my word, look how cool it is. Secondly, Mawile is another Mega Pokemon which is looking a little bit interesting. Now, the second attack here, free energy 260. If your opponent's active already has any damage on, the base goes to 30. This is actually sneaky super annoying, because what you really want to do in a situation like this is set up for a KO. You go and do a bit of damage, and then the 260 finishes and KOs them, and you win from there. Problem is, you can't do that in a situation where if they've got any damage on, you only do 30. It's a way of making sure you're going to be able to KO, like, basic and some stage 1 EXs, but nothing bigger than that. It's frankly a little bit awkward. But I do like the first attack. I like the first attack very much indeed. Gobble Down for 2 energy does 80 damage for each prize card you have taken. None of this letting your opponent take prize cards malarkey. No mucking about. You are in charge here. You get to make the decision. So all you need to do is take a few prizes and then use this to finish off. If you've taken 1 or 2 prizes, you're doing 80, 160. It's not very good. Time you've taken 4 prizes, well, you're doing 320, and you'll be KOing pretty much anything. As something to take your last couple of prizes, oh, I love this one very, 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 very much indeed. It is a phenomenal game ender. The biggest issue here we have is, what metal decks are good right now? Like right now, who's playing metal decks? What metal decks are seeing play right now? There aren't really very many. Yes, I know technically Golden Go is a metal Pokemon, and you attach metal energy to Golden Go to attack. I understand that. I also understand it's not really a metal deck. It is a deck where you use a bunch of different types of energy to discard them and do a bunch of damage. It's not a deck where you're playing all metal energy and attaching all metal Pokemon. It is a kind of a rainbow deck where you have to put 1 metal on your active. So I like this as a game ender, but the problem with a game ender is it needs to fit into a deck that can do the rest of the stuff. And I don't know what we've got in terms of a deck that can do the rest of the stuff. And that's frankly a little bit of a problem. We did see some other reveals come down from the lovely Cerebi Joe, though, him off, shockingly enough, Cerebi.net. And it starts off having a look at Vulpix. Look at Vulpix. I mean, the regular Vulpix is fine. I'm more trying to get you to look at the illustration rare Vulpix. The illustration rare Vulpix is absolutely stunning. Absolutely stunning. It's just kind of sitting there, and it's setting the fire. It's using its breath to make the fire go. It's really rather lovely. Big fan of this one. Playability-wise, that's not really what we're talking about here. It's really just, hey, have a look at the lovely artwork. The lovely artwork is, shockingly enough, lovely. But it evolves into a Ninetales. What do we think about the Ninetales? Do we think the Ninetales could be a rather nice Pokemon, playability-wise? Well, we got 2 attacks here, and to be blunt, the second attack, 2 energy 60, no. This is not a good attack. It is not an interesting attack. There isn't really much of a saving grace. 60 damage isn't even enough to get your standard evolving basic support Pokemon there. 70 HP nowadays. And it's not a basic Pokemon, and it's not a single energy. You add that all up together, and it's frankly kind of terrible, honestly. But for 2 energy, you've got the wonderfully named Supernatural Shapeshifter. Discard the top card of your deck, and if it is a supporter card, use the effect of that card as the effect of this attack. Now, ladies and gentlemen, now we talking. Because this is one where, I mean, look, this is going to harken back. If you've been playing a long time, you're going to look at this, and your very first thought is going to be, oh, it's Sableye. That's kind of cool. I mean, it's not exactly Sableye, but it's close enough to Sableye to make old heads like me go, ooh. Oh, you mean like Sableye? Now, the old Sableye, it was the one from Stormfront, and for no energy, it let you search your deck for a supporter card, discard it, use the effect of that attack as the effect of this attack. And honestly, what Ninetales does mostly is remind us how ridiculous that old Sableye was. Sableye was a basic, this is a stage 1. Sableye was for 0 energy, this is for 1. Sableye, search for a supporter card to guarantee you got the exact one you want. Ninetales discards the top card of your deck, and if it is the one you want, you get to use it. Oh, and by the way, Sableye had a really nice overconfident attack, which could be used to take prizes, and a Pokeball which guaranteed you got to go first. Sableye was busted. This is, I think a nice way to say it might be profoundly disappointing. And look, if you really want me to make an argument, we do have Academy at Night nowadays, which lets you put a card from your hand on top of your deck. So you can basically stack the top of your deck using a supporter card in hand to guarantee that you've got a supporter card on top of your deck that you want, so you can discard it and use the effect as this attack. You can make it work. I'm just saying it's a stage 1 that takes an energy. Nah, mate, not gonna work. But we got some new megas here that are gonna work, and I think that's pretty cool. But I've told you about them now, so now it's over to you guys. Tell me what you think about all of this in the comment section. Go nuts! Be nice. And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at TheWasi. That's where we talk about Pokemon and a whole bunch of other card games. And please do consider checking out patreon.com/PTCG Radio, where you can support the channel, get some bonus podcasts, join a Discord, and all kinds of fun things. And get shout-outs on the channel, like the lovely Kanto Royalty, who's been a supporter of ours for a long time now and seems to be a very lovely person. So shout out to them for the support and the loveliness. But by far the most important thing as always, look after yourselves till next time, would ya? Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross and you've been watching PTCG Radio.